Welcome back to the channel, hope you're all well. So, a lovely winter day, just got home from a ride on the bike with Bob, you'll have seen the video, and big box has arrived, and it's the Hitchcocks Stainless Steel fuel exhaust system which I planned to buy, and I bought it sooner than later as I'd sold a bicycle, so I thought, put the money back in my hobbies. So let's get all this unpacked. So it's very lightweight, fuel system, single skin front pipe. So these will run warmer as a pipe, but the bike should run cooler running as a more of an open system. Um, so let's get all this unpacked and we'll go through what's in the box. Exhaust is obviously in two parts, front and back. So that'll be the silencer in this box. And then the other packet there will be the mounting brackets, nuts and bolts and stuff. And it comes with a copper head gasket, more on that in a bit. And just taking this off, it's a beautiful silencer. Look at that, it looks lovely. It's got a removable baffle. I'll probably just put the baffle in, go in my other videos. I'll try it without it first. So it's got two captive square nuts inside the back there. They locate with 2 pins. That's that copper ring. That's the exhaust gasket. And it's a replaceable item. There's the baffle. And yeah, so we're nearly done. It's another wee box there with nuts and bolts probably in it. We'll get that unpacked as well. But that's a lovely looking silencer. It's really light. So this is the bracket of a bit of an issue with. If you look at it, it's got some sort of plastic coating on one side, which didn't just peel off. Imagine a heat gun might take it off. But it's obviously been left on. We've got an error there of the machine shop or Hitchcocks. And that would also determine how I mounted the silencer today. And as you're going to see, there's 2 ways you can mount the silencer in 2 positions. So just open this box. This will be the nuts and bolts. Now, before we get started, that's your clamp. The bolts that hold that clamp, that mounting bracket on here, they're a 13mm, and the baffle nut and bolt is an 11mm. So your Royal Enfield stuff's usually 10, 12, 14mm, so just be aware of that if you're going to change in and out and about. So first of all, we'll take off this temperature sensor. It's got a proper name, no idea what it is. It's quite tight this, but we'll be putting copper grease on every thread when we put all this back together, so it won't be a problem going back on. Sensor unscrewed and out, just let that hang down out of the way. And then 14mm ring spanner or socket will take off your exhaust header bolts. Just take them off evenly, so much each side, go back and forward. Now you'll see on my side, when I unscrew the nut that just pulled the stud out, that seems to be a common thing. So just loosen this. This looks a bit different to your own exhaust, so you'll see there's a straight stainless pipe instead of a decat. Get that off, and then we'll get the header nuts and bolts off, and we'll get the whole lot off in one go. You'll see here the studs coming right out with the nut attached, which isn't a problem, that's okay. And the acorn nut on the other side's unscrewed, no problem as well. So just take your time going back and forward with these, and soon have them off. A wee bit of a wobble, soon get this off. There you go. That's the pipe all off. Take all this away out the road. Now, I always show all the problems I encounter, and this was the first one, was getting that copper gasket out. I wasn't going to start butchering it and doing any possible damage. to the exhaust outlet there and behind the gasket. So you know what I did? I just left the gasket as it was. I've put plenty of exhausts on before without changing gaskets. So that can just stay there. I can always at a later date change it. So I'll just line this up and then we'll get the clamp on and start tightening them up. If you're putting a new gasket in there, you would actually put it in with copper grease to hold it right in place. Then you don't have to worry about it moving. But just take your time and you'll soon get these started. And just take your time and get them both screwed down gradually on either side, so you put the head on evenly. I'm just going to use my ratchet spanner in there, it's a bit more room. I'm kind of working blind because the camera's up there, but it's all wobbling around now, but it'll soon, once it tightens up, that'll soon stop. Because I'm reusing the exhaust gasket, I don't have to go daft tightening these because I'm not crushing that new washer in. So they just need to be hand tight, like spark plug tight, I'd say. And then a bit of copper grease on this sensor, and that will make that going a lot easier. And before you start, turn that 3 or 4 times clockwise. What you do is you pre-twirl the cables up, so when you screw it in, the cables aren't wound up. Now just tighten that spark plug tight as well. That's hand tight in the tiniest little nip, and you're all good. Okay, so mounting that silencer, you can see there I'm holding that bracket for the rear mount where the original silencer bolts on, and of course that horrible plastic's showing. So if I spin it round, it actually will mount straight up onto the center mount, which is for the decat or the cat usually. So I thought, well, why don't I just go for that? So you just take your time and you get those 2 bolts started on those captive nuts, and then they both slide backwards and forwards, which allow you to reposition the bracket. When I replaced my cat with a straight bit of stainless pipe, I left the cat mounting nut and bolt and washers on the bike. So I'm just taking them out because I'll be using them, and we'll just slide this round. Now, if that bracket was getting used reversed, it'd be going behind the rear mounting bracket. And because of the bend on it, it's got to go in front. Does it matter? Well, I can't really do much about that horrible colour stuff on the other side just now, so that'll do for now. Just get the clamp on now and tighten it all up. These are your 13mm headed bolts, so nice and tight on them because you're not planning on taking them off for a while. So next odd thing was this clamp, even right tight up, they'll still play in the system. That should be absolutely solid and you still rock the back of the silencer. You can see even the clamp's very loose fitting on the silencer. So I took this one off and I fitted one that was on the other pipe, which is for smaller diameter. And it solved everything. Sorted all the wobbling and stuff, you'll see that just now. Mounting this silencer onto the centre, you're making the whole overall pipe about 6 inches shorter, you can see that, 5-6 inches. So you're actually putting it quite a bit onto the pipe inside, but baffles straight through, so it doesn't really matter, does it? So with the silencer mount tight, we just tighten that new size clamp on the centre, and it was all solid after that. Perfect. Okay, time to start the bike up. Let it run for 10 minutes at idle without touching the throttle, and that will help reprogram the ACU as the temperature builds up on the bike. Sounds lovely though. So this was with the baffle out. So I'd take it out round the town once it'd been run for a bit, but it was just a bit too barky. Got to think of horses and stuff. So Baffle will be put in the next day. All good.
A bit of choo train. So, as you've seen there, there. I don't know what's right, because as I say, this on the inside, as you can see, it's got this material. So I'm just going to run it like this. Right. That's the baffle installed. Now just note it's 11 mils, just like you've got 13s on here, which aren't your normal sizing on your Royal Enfield tools. Everyone's 10, 12 and 14. So 11s for that, 13s for those bolts, okay? So let's give it a run, see how she sounds. Alright, do it? Because it was too loud being as it was. Good thing about horses on country roads and things, we just need to get this dulled all down. It'll burn off, it'll brown off. Anyway, fit and forget, that's the idea.